Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a lovely X4M finish in Donington Grey, which the guys at BMW Park Lane have kindly loaned to us. So just like the M850i video, we're going to split this into two. This is going to be walk around video looking at the features of the car and the design aspects, and then we will be jumping in the car and taking it for a drive, and that will be over on BMW Park Lane's YouTube channel. So let's have a look at the front of the car since we're standing here. The colour is the same as our F90 M5, and to be honest, if I was going to choose a car on the X4M or the X3M, I would probably be choosing the Donington Grey or the Toronto Red that they do. I think this is a really classy colour and it really shows off the lines and the details of the car. As this is the M version of the X4M, it is very aggressively styled. The front bumper is very M, has lots of aggressive lines at the front and for the air vents on either side. The grills on this model are also blacked out and they've got the M double stripes coming down here. And at the moment, the proportion of the grills are suitable for the car, in my opinion. I think any more than this, then they'll start looking a bit out of proportion. The headlights also have the icon style going on, which is very reminiscent of modern BMWs now. It's become a kind of trademark for them, so when you see these in your rear view mirror, you know something nice is coming along. If we move over to the side of the car, it's got 21-inch wheels, really big brakes, as you can see, which you would expect from an M car, and it's also got proper tyres, so it's running Michelin PS4S and not run flats. The car does actually handle and grip really well, and those brakes do a really good job of stopping the car. It's got M-style mirrors and the traditional M-style grille now here in the side. The overall design of the car works really well. So BMW probably the first people to make the coupe style SUV, and it's got almost like a swooping line at the back to make it look a lot sleeker. There's going to be debate about whether you prefer the X4M or X3M in terms of style. Obviously it's the same car, just slightly different body shape. Personally, I do prefer the X3M because I think when the body just carries on at the back, it just looks a bit more purposeful for me. But again, there'll be people who prefer one over the other. Move to the back of the car. It is as aggressively styled as the front of the car, and it's got a lot of details going on at the back, and I really like it. If you see the roof line here, it's got two lines that are actually coming down from the roof, and they are then followed on through this spoiler that's fitted on the top of the rear screen. The spoiler here also has the same line here following it, so there's a lot of detail going on at the back of the car, and it just really works. Again, the BMW is starting to move to the elongated tail lights, much like the M850i we looked at. The only bit I'm not 100% sure about is the way this reflector goes all the way in, but it does add a lot more aggressiveness to the style. It's got a really nice diffuser from the factory, so it's not completely plain like, say for example, the F80 M3 was. I mean, you probably could do with making a nice carbon one for this, but I mean, as a stock car, it actually does work really well. Quad exhausts, and the exhaust tips are actually a decent size. This car is one of the latest ones, so it has PPF fitted, and it doesn't make as much nice noise as the M850i. I did pick up an X3M for IND when I was over there in summer, and of course they don't have the PPF fitted in that country, and it sounded really good. The noise on idle, revving, and when you were driving it was really fantastic, and it also popped and banged on the overrun in sport mode, but this particular one doesn't do that. So let's go over and have a look at the engine so we can talk about that. So for the first time in my memory, BMW have introduced a new M engine, so this is the S58, that will be in the upcoming G80, M3 and M4, but they've put it in an SUV first. So this engine that you're looking at is exactly the same engine that's going to be in the new M3 and M4. Maybe it'll have a little bit more power than it has in this, but we're not too sure yet. But when you're driving this car, it does feel like the engine has been pegged back a little bit. I think there is more in it. So the car makes around 520 horsepower and around the same in torque, and It's a 3-litre inline-6 with a twin turbo. And if you have a chance, have a look at the YouTube video of BMW actually making this engine, because the cylinder head is actually really trick. They've actually 3D printed the cylinder head, which allows them to do really complex shapes. And it looks like it's going to be a really robust engine for tuning. Even true, we've already started making the intake for this. So while we were over at IND, we scanned the car and started making the internal filters. So that should be ready in a couple of months. But this engine is mated to the standard ZF 8-speed gearbox that we've seen in loads of other BMWs. And I think this engine has a lot of potential. In stock form, it's really fast, but I think it's going to be really, really tunable. So with the engine taken care of, let's have a look at the interior. The interior of the car is a very, very nice place to be, and it's not that far removed from my F90. So when I'm sitting in this car driving it, the steering wheel is the same, the dash is the same, it's got the same kind of ambient lighting. The iDrive system is the same, the controller is the same. It just really feels like I'm in my M5, which is a really good thing. So they've really translated the DNA of the M5 into this model. So anyone who already is familiar or has an M car, you'll really feel at home driving this car. The interior is actually very high quality. I love the piano black and the silver highlights here. It's got the same interior lights, the Art Deco style that we've seen in a lot of M cars. This particular car has Harman Kardon, which for a sound system is more than acceptable. And what they've really stepped up their game on is the seats. So if you look at the seats, they've got this quilting, the perforation, they support you really well. It's just a really nice interior. If you've been following the channel for a while, you know I've always been talking about how BMW are lacking in their interiors, but I'm really happy that they've really come to the forefront of interior design now. They're ergonomic, they look good, they're interesting, and they are just a really nice place to sit and drive. So that's one thing I've been really impressed with this car, is the interior. It's really nice to drive. It's functional, and it just reminds me that I'm in an M car. A lot of people will say, oh, why have they made an M version of the SUVs? But people obviously want them, that's why they've made them. So just make them as close to a proper M car as possible, and that's what they've done. So being the family car, it's going to be important that you can get your kids in the back. So I'm 5'9", this is my seating position, and I'm sitting in the back. I've got plenty of leg room, and more importantly, I've got a lot of headroom as well. So even though the roof is sweeping behind you, I've got a good another 4 or 5 inches, I would say, on top of here. So even if you're 6 foot, I think you'll be absolutely fine. And again, it's a nice place to be. I love the little details they've done of the X in the door here, and they are also in the front of the car. I had my kids in the car yesterday and they really enjoyed it. They said it wasn't as good as the M5, which I would expect. This is a cheaper car, but they said it's still a very, very nice car. So let's have a look at the boot while we're here, because obviously you will have to carry the shopping and maybe go on holiday and put your luggage in the back. So see how much room is in here. So there's quite a bit of space in the back here. We've got Matt's drone and camera equipment. So there's plenty of room for maybe 2 suitcases. And if you need the extra load lugging capacity, you can fold the seats down. And there seems to be quite a lot of space in there. So not only does it look good, it goes really well, as you'll see from my driving video, but it's actually really practical at the same time. We've taken a look at the design of the car from the exterior, interior, and also talked a little bit about the engine, but what is it like to drive? I'm going to jump in the car now, go take it for a test drive, and if you head over to BMW Park Lane YouTube channel, you can see my views over there. Thank you for watching, guys. If you want to watch more of our videos, you can watch them over here. If you want to watch what YouTube suggests that you might like from our videos, you can watch them over here. As always, if you haven't already, please like our video and subscribe to our channel. If you've got any questions for us, please drop them in the comments below and we will do our best to answer them for you.